all of these opportunities that you say don't feel like the right one, they don't have any compelling energy around them because you say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I want it to be right, but what if it's wrong? I'd like to find something meaningful, but don't want to do corporate America. I'd like to do that, but it reminds me of something I don't like. I'd like to do that, but it reminds me of something else I don't like. And so when you're doing that, then nothing gets any momentum and nothing calls you. And then you say, well, I'm waiting for a sign. And well, we said that. But what we want you to begin to understand is that you create your own reality. So you have some experiences that just sort of stir you up. And as the experience stirs you up, it launches some rockets of desires. And there are all of these desires that are there. And you say, yes, Abraham, I've been listening to you today. And I understand that there's this wonderful life for me out there in vibrational escrow that I want to get in sync with, but I don't know which way to go. And we say, you can go any direction and get in sync with that wonderful stuff that's being held for you in vibrational escrow. It's not in one job. It's not in one place. The potential for the fulfillment of all of that wonderful stuff is everywhere you want to go. You could live on any city on the planet and find fulfillment. You could be with nearly every partner on the planet and find fulfillment. In other words, you make too much, all of you, where you're really getting a dose of it here, and it's not just meant for you, it's meant for everyone. You make too much of trying to frame out the perfect life. You really put yourself in a crippling place when you stand here and say, I am the deliberate creator of my own experience, and I've got to get everything figured out from where I am forever, evermore. That'll make you sort of want to stand here and work longer. And we say, just get moving in something that feels like the approximate direction of where you want to go, and pick up more data along the way, which will help you to firm up your decisions about what you want. And if it doesn't feel good, then try to make it feel better. And pretty soon, wherever you are and whatever you're doing will begin to feel like magnificent life experience. And for heaven's sake, stop trying to compare the way your life is framing out with anybody else's. In other words, you're different from all of them. You're living a different life from them. We think that's the rebellion you have about corporate America. Corporate America tends to sort of want you to all, not always, and it's too big of a statement, but there is a lot of similarity in the way people behave within it, even though there is enormous diversity even under that label.
You have just described my life right now to an absolute T. I mean, it's what's been swirling in my mind. And Abraham, I just haven't been able to get out of it because in the past, I've lived my life the way you're describing. I have an idea, I go for it, I give it my all, it succeeds, it's wonderful, it works. And then when the doors started closing, I took that as a sign that, because I had this yearning inside of me to do something that was of service more, that since we spend so many hours a day at work, there wasn't much time left over to do anything in terms of giving back. So I did this grandiose, I've been out in this void and been feeling good about it, have stretched myself beyond the absolute
All right,
limits.
now we're going to give you something really big here. Who are you giving back to? And the reason we ask the question is because we know the big answer. But
hit me with it.
Everyone has access to the same infinite, never-ending, eternal, non-physical resources. So there's no shortage anywhere. So when you say, I want to give something back, can you hear, in light of what we've been talking about all day here today, that your exposure to the contrast and the subsequent asking that is born out of that is more giving back than you ever could have imagined? Because in your willingness to experience the contrast, you conjure the questions that summon the all that is forward. Did you get that? In other words, your willingness to explore the contrast and give birth to the questions and desires and preferences that are happening within you is literally the summoning point of life. The expansion of the universe depends upon it. We think you are worthy because of it, you see. But what man means when man says give back is, well, I think that I've been living so much joy, which means you're in the flow. When you're living a joyful life, that means you finally got in sync. The cycle is finally complete in the way. You experienced the contrast, you gave birth to the desire, you became a vibrational match to the desire, and the universe yielded into your experience in full blossoming bloom, the manifestation of the things that you launched in terms of creation and got up to sync with. Did you hear that? It was a mouthful. It is so powerful the way this universe continues to unfold. And so you got in the flow of things and you allowed the universe to yield to you in the way that it always does. But then you look around and you see someone else not reaping the benefits, and then the idea of service for most people is, well, I've just been blessed too much. I should withhold some of the blessings that have been coming to me and shunt them or shuttle them over to somebody who's not getting them. And we say, good luck in that one. Universal forces can't force them to let the good stuff in. You're not going to be able to. You're depriving yourself of your clarity and your balance, and your material creation is not going to for a moment allow somebody else who's resistant to the idea of having it. In other words, you never say, oh, I've been well for so long, I think I'll be sick for the next 10 years so that some poor sick fool can be well for a while. You never say that, because you do not believe that their wellness is being squandered by you, selfish being. How dare you be so well for so long and let the others be sick? What's the matter with you? You should become one of service. You should get sick and let them be well. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Because you know that it is not based on that. And so when someone says, I'm going to be of service, we say the best service that you could be to anyone is to get in there and love life and let your life cause you to desire things, and again, get up to speed with what you desire and create through the clarity of your example the abundance of this universe, you see. And so that's who you are.